I am Sister Unity, a nun. And because I'm a nun, I'm duty-bound at some point to talk to you about forgiveness. For a long time, since my spiritual studies began 30 years ago, I wondered what forgiveness really meant. Because forgiveness is, in my experience, it sounds Christian. And I haven't had a lot of truck with Christianity. I practice Hinduism. And before that, I was a devout atheist in a time-honored tradition of my family. So this idea of forgiveness seemed like it was caught up somehow in the ontological hegemony of Christianity. And then when I started to study meditation and some of the Hindu philosophy, and I came across this notion of forgiveness again, especially as applied to forgiving oneself, I really didn't have a grasp on the word and what it meant. After many years of study, something happened. Something that gave me an understanding. I had a real shift in my life last spring. Something very big affected me when I was very young, and it left a huge scar, one that I have been behaving in reaction to ever since. And this spring, I had an opportunity to be proactive and to fix something about what happened to me. And this fixing removed the scar, broke the curse, and left me clear-headed. And in my clear-headed vision, I looked around me, and one of the things that immediately came to my attention was my past mistakes. I mean big ones. It was as big as that earthquake we had in Los Angeles recently. It shook my whole world. It's been a very intense 3-4 months. And I have been feeling extremely ashamed, guilty, sad, and filled with regret for my actions, my greed. In the middle of all of this, I was in touch with someone who had been incarcerated for a really serious crime. I mean, one of the worst. And this person was asking me for advice. They were asking me about forgiveness. They wanted to know what forgiveness was, and if such a thing was even possible for them. I had to turn to my spiritual practices and contemplate and look for an answer. I did my usual prayers and my meditation. I consulted my intuition and went to my bookshelf and researched in the books I have the teachings of a great spiritual master from India. And this master had very wise words to say about forgiveness, and not just forgiveness, but repentance. Repentance. Repentance, a word I haven't thought of, certainly not personally, in at least 30 years or more. What she said was, forgiveness is not like some comforting wrap that you can throw around someone's shoulders and say, oh, don't worry about it. I'm all right. It's all going to be okay. Feel better. That is not forgiveness. To forgive someone, you must first allow them repentance, time and space to contemplate their actions, to do their homework, to As this master wrote, walk through the fires of repentance. Everyone must do this. And I want you to think about looking at it this way. Everyone deserves the blessing and the opportunity of doing their homework with repentance. So what's repentance, I thought? She goes on to describe repentance, saying that it is a contemplation, a deep contemplation, a very, very personal, intimate contemplation. She, as she always does, advised me to turn within, because in the cave of the heart, in the center of the mind, in the very spark of your life that is the you of you, there is a place that no one else can go to. Only you and whatever deity or transcendent entity or concept that you worship. Only these are there. It is your most sacred place. It is your most personal place. And you must go there when contemplating your repentance. Now, there are certainly levels of emotion, like I said I felt, guilt, shame. Those are appropriate. Those are emotions that our system uses. Like when you cut yourself and you feel pain, it's your nervous system saying, oh, attention here, something's wrong. Guilt and shame are appropriate because they tell us homework is needed. Contemplate, something has been done wrong. You need to be careful. You need to figure it out. You need to figure yourself out. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. So you go through these levels: sadness, regret, responsibility. And as you keep going, maybe using meditation or prayer or chanting or whatever spiritual practices are yours to help you get to the center of your being, you enter that place that is so private and so personal. And underneath it all guilt, all wrongdoing and right doing, and in between, there is this chamber of the heart. There is this spark that is the center of the mind, that is pure. That is pure. That is resonating, free from notions of good and evil and dark and light. It is itself. It is yourself. It is complete. It is whole. It is pure. That is you. That is the deepest or the highest you of you. Going there helps you to see the other levels and to contemplate what you've done, why you've done it. This great master then says, when forgiving someone, don't forgive them too soon. Let them go through this process. Because if you make it all right for them, and you cut short this process, you're not forgiving. You're complicit. So my question was about forgiving myself. And I had to go through this process. I took her note, and I dove into repentance. And it's been a long time of feeling horrible. And that's how I should feel. Let me take a moment to perform what some call an amends. If you're watching this, and I have harmed you or done you wrong, please know I am so sorry. I am studying myself. I am taking myself apart to make sure I never do it again. One of the things that I discovered in my contemplation was this bad thing that happened to me a long time ago. I've been reacting to it ever since. It's put a kind of veil over my mind. And I've been reacting, overreacting ever since. I've been reaching out and trying to grab things that I thought were denied to me. One of the effects of this horrible event was that I felt unworthy and stained, tainted for life, blocked off from good stuff, from success, from love. I felt I'd been cast by the world in the role of he who never has. And so, as I grew older and took the reins of adulthood, I reacted thinking I would seek things for myself. Life denied me, so I'd get it where I can. I drew a picture, and when I was processing this, because for me drawing helps, for some people it's writing, and the caption of this picture said, "The world didn't help me, so I helped myself." I never thought of myself as a greedy person, but here I was face to face with my own greed, my own reflexive, maybe defensive, certainly offensive greed. It made me arrange things, to take things, to get things, to have things, to experience things that I really should have just walked on by, let be, and focused on good. Focused not on getting for myself, but listening to what those around me needed and making sure that they got what they needed. So this contemplation of repentance smacked me in the face with my own actions and my intense feelings about them. And that brought me to a really humbling place. It stripped away delusions I've had for 50 years. And it left me with a sense of clarity and a sense of responsibility. It let me see both who I thought I had been and now who I actually am. So you see, repentance is vitally important. The person you have to forgive, have they had the opportunity to go through repentance, contemplation? Some people need to forgive in order to have closure themselves. Follow your intuition, contemplate what you're feeling, contemplate what you've been through, and see what makes the most peace with your soul. Don't just make it all right for the other person. If you have to forgive them for your own peace, maybe there's a way to forgive them with words that set before them their opportunity for contemplating repentance, for letting them know exactly what happened and how it affected you. I think now that forgiveness means forswearing vengeance, forswearing trying to get something back. The forgiving should be able to give you back enough. I think forgiveness does not mean going back to exactly how things were. I think forgiveness means waving a green flag to walk forward. Whatever that may mean, it means, okay, I've lived in what happened for a while. Now I am going to let it be what it is, and I'm going to walk forward. Forgiveness, as I was saying, may also be a signal for someone else to do their homework. There are those who say, forgive but don't forget. I think that forgiveness does mean some kind of letting go. Not like, oh, it's no big deal letting go, but letting go with a preoccupation in your mind of what happened. When you're ready, it may take some time to work through things for yourself. Give yourself that space and time. I'd like to know what you think forgiveness is. I'd like to know what you think of repentance. Please leave comments or contact me and let me know your thoughts. I'm still working on mine, but I've come a far away from where I had been. I hope I learn more. I plan to do better. If there are consequences that must be faced, I plan now to step up to responsibility and to take care of what needs taking care of, to do what needs doing. I think that will allow me to forgive myself.